coming to you live from the backseat of a 1984 Holden Kingswood. It's time for Destiny Down Under.
G'day and welcome to the 86th episode of the Destiny Down Under podcast. I, as always, am Log Power Slave and I'm joined by my fearless co-hosts, Real Time Sloth and Mylan Games. And this week, we have a very special guest, none other than... Are you the commander? What is your title with the Turtle Squad? Originator? You don't have one?
I'm just Jay.
Splinter.
Yeah. The splinter of the Turtle Squad. JSniperton, ladies and gentlemen. So
doesn't he have hair, though?
Well, I mean,
you splinter with like mange or something.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen a hairless rat?
Oh wow! Derailed in 6 seconds. Good job. It's a new record.
All right, it was fun. See you guys later.
Yeah, cheers, man. Cheers. See you next year. Oh god, I hope this reconnects.
Did he drop for the camera?
Oh wow. All right, well, as always, we've got an absolute shitload of stuff to talk about. There's been no shortage of goings on in the Destiny community. But we might go around the grounds, catch up with Sloth and Merlin, and then we'll talk to Jay about what he's been doing since last we caught up with him. And we'll kick it off right now. Slothy, how's your week been?
Well, it's been all right. It's been really difficult to get back into a whole schedule and all that sort of thing this week because, well, family evidently just throws everything out of whack. So, but this week's been, it's okay. It was okay. You don't want to know. It's fine. Mylan?
I've been playing as much as I can of Solstice of Heroes. Man, I just constantly say to myself, I'm really enjoying Destiny at the moment. Like, and playing solo too. And I'm like, damn, this is fun. And having something to work towards and grind towards. Like, I've just been like, Danny, do you mind if I go play games? Run away and just been on we're getting closer to what I always wanted. Well, not always wanted, but you need
to pull out you look really tired. You should get an early night and then fuck off and play.
Well, this morning,
I was going to say maybe you should pull out that, hey, you look really nice tonight. You should go out with the girls to the pub or something. But Log went the other way and went, hey, you look really tired. Maybe you should go the fuck to sleep.
Well, the thing is, like, she likes to sleep in, and if I don't wake her up, like today, I just got up early and snuck out of the bedroom, and then just 10 not until 10 a.m. So I got some.
I mean, why are you so tired in the afternoon?
What's that? Why are you so tired at 1 p.m.? You better go to bed. Anyway, yeah. So I've been enjoying D2 lots. That's all I've been doing is playing that game.
I've been doing the same.
What are you
playing heaps of it? Me and Keg have been ripping through it together and just talking shit. I didn't stream last night. I would have liked to have, but I've got this crook throat, which will probably catch up with me at the back end of the podcast. So we're just coughing and spluttering. Crook, sick.
Crook.
I haven't heard that before. So is it like stealing your?
Yeah,
crook,
pretty much. Yeah,
know.
The illness is stealing my capacity to speak.
Okay,
yeah, we'll take that. That's our point.
Okay.
Oh, well, I mean, I'll pay that. That's a great thing.
I will.
All right.
Jay, how you been, man? What's been going on in the last year or so?
I looked up the last time that we did this, and it was episode 22. I don't know what episode this is.
86?
86, yeah.
It's March 19th of last year, so it's been a little while. But as far as the last week, I mean, just getting back from Guardian Con, and then I was gone like 2 weeks prior than that for a week for a family trip. So getting back from that, getting back in the swing of things, getting the schedule back on track has been really nice. and stuff. And I fortunately didn't have the con plague that everybody else got and whatnot, so that was nice. But you know, just the kiddo learning new words every day. And
What's the coolest
living
word
day
you
to
got
day.
now?
Hey, so how was Guardian Con? Because you went to Guardian Con the year before as well, so we would have spoke to you just before that. How was it this year? And obviously you would have seen a lot of new fans and old fans and all that kind of stuff.
Right. I wasn't as integrated into the event itself this year as I was last year.
Oh, sure.
But I mean, it was bigger. Like everything they did was bigger, more organized. Like the VIP area was a lot nicer, and you know,
Ooh, VIP.
the reach that they had, I feel like the global reach was a lot bigger.
Yeah.
And they're starting to really get traction in the industry with developers and companies and stuff like that are really starting to like notice them as an event. And it's really nice to see, you know, just how far the reach has become over the last few years. And that's beyond like the community stuff, which is why I went, you know, is to hang out with the community and other streamers and stuff and content creators. And so it was really nice. I stayed out too late every night, but that's just kind of how those trips go for me. Like I just have to stay up. I can't waste an opportunity to see people and hang out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So
Cool. I mean, if you look at like Warframe, right? Like look at there's got to be companies looking at the resurgence of Warframe from Guardian Con just within the Twitch directory.
right.
And how much of a massive, and not even Twitch, on YouTube as well. Like that's got a huge boost from
sure.
from the Guardian Con sort of collaboration. Yeah. So I imagine it's only going to get bigger with working with other companies as they go forwards.
Sure. The thing that interests me about Warframe, sorry, I was just gonna.
No, you're good.
I've heard nothing but good things about Warframe and their development team and their social team and all that kind of stuff. And so that honestly is what's gotten me intrigued by the game and wants me, like, I kind of want to try it, but all I hear is good things about them.
Yeah, I'm a little bit in the same position as, like, I don't know, I'm too time poor to be able to, you know, juggle another fucking full blown. Well, it's equally as MMO as Destiny, as much as that, you know, like it's a time sink. So I'd love to be able to get in there and see what it's all about. I don't like. I tweeted last week, I think it was, that like I really don't understand why there seems to be this rivalry between the two titles and all this sort of stuff, like between it and Destiny, when really they're both just what appear to be great sci-fi games that aren't even the same type of game. So anyway, we won't dabble into that. But
Do you know the only thing that like puts me off is I feel like I'll get motion sickness in Warframe because of how quick the jump is. Like when I watch people play, I'm like, like I don't know if I could play it.
Is really fast.
Quick. It is super quick.
If
like,
Chucky can play it, you can play it, man. Chucky's like 85 and he can play it. So.
He doesn't get like equilibrium, like falls over.
No, he's basically you from the future when you go bald and grow a bigger beard. You'll be fine.
So, referencing to something that you said on your stream last night, Jay, that you like to use a controller because you think it's a smoother and all that sort of thing in games. Anyone who uses mouse and keyboard in Warframe and streams it, like it is everywhere. Like I use mouse and keyboard for nearly every game that I play, but Warframe would be one of those games that would just throw me the hell off because it is so fast. It is so freaking fast. Like I was watching Chuck do it. We are old, it's fine, but it does look like one of those games. And with TennoCon going into Guardian Con and all that sort of thing, the developer, I can never remember the name of the developers for Warframe, but it's good that we're sort of bringing everything together. Like Broman and Goth and all those people have sort of brought the Warframe community in, brought Ninja in, which was really, really good for, you know, getting the Destiny community out there, bringing Bungie down to Tampa and bringing Gambit down, which was just huge.
Jay, did you play Gambit?
I did not. I got to the event each day just like at normal entrance time, which I had a VIP ticket and I could have gotten there early if I wasn't out. too late tonight. But I told myself, I was like, I'm here for the community. If it's more than a 15 to 30 minute wait, I'm just gonna not do it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
It made me sad because I was like, I more want to play because I want to give my impressions to our community and just kind of like all that stuff. I can wait. Like I know we're gonna have it, all that stuff. But I mean, it would have been nice, but at the same time, I know a lot of other people wanted to play it a lot more than me. So by the time I got there, it was like, all right, well, the wait's 3 hours. I'm not doing it. Sorry. Like,
how big was the line? How big was the line? Was it just massive?
It was, it didn't seem that big because the building that we were in was really large, but it kind of wrapped around, I just think that each session took 10 to 15 minutes.
Right.
So and they had 16 machines the first day and then 24 the second day.
So they brought in more machines for the second day. They're like, we need more.
I think so, yeah.
Where do you just go and get machines from?
Go to Best Buy. Get a couple extra computers.
Quick, put them on the credit card, Cosmo. Fucking hell.
I don't know how they did it, but
I don't know. Like people in the chat are saying they waited 3 hours, or waited 6 hours to play. Like it's exciting, and I get it. I would not have the patience to do it. If I was at Guardian, if the three of us, Log Matt and I, flew to Tampa, I would not be waiting 6 hours to play a game of a PvE VP crossover. No, I'd be there to drink myself into an absolute trolleyed state. So,
Shush. You've just given our entire game plan away. Shush.
We're Australian. They know.
Yeah, maybe if I didn't know anybody, going down there, and I was just like my normal antisocial self and was really just wanted to play and was really nervous about meeting people or something like that, I might do that. But at this point, I'm there to hang with people and meet people and all that stuff. So
yeah.
I think like in closing about Guardian Con, and even this from a distance, and you can back me up, Jay, as our man on the ground. I think that like this year was kind of the year that they needed to have in terms of diversifying it. Like the whole Destiny 2 was forced their hand, where they had to, they're going out, they're looking, involving other games, getting Ninja there. Destiny 2 was kind of in the doldrums when you think about when they would have actually been organising the event. So I think it's good.
Bungie wasn't in the plans at all originally, and then there was actually they were trying to get Destiny on the main stage in some form or another, and I was actually talking to Kevin about that, and was trying to help pitch ideas and stuff for what they could possibly do as like a charity thing on the main stage. And then like 2 weeks later, this is probably back in like March or even earlier, and then finally Bungie came out and said, we're gonna make it happen. Let's get Gambit there, because it's something to show. Like there's actually something to show. Yeah. So then it was like, all right, well, scrap everything. Bungie's coming, which was huge.
I had forgotten that Kevin was heavily involved with Guardian Con. Not that I have anything against Mixer. I don't. I just forget that he is over there.
Mm-hmm.
I have forgotten that he is over there, and I've forgotten that him and Broman and Goth were the ones that were sort of at the top organising it all. So congratulations to those gents. I think a lot of people really enjoyed Guardian Con. He's safe. One man that may or may not have been almost thrown into jail trying to get the news story for us here on the podcast.
I didn't hear the story.
No, it's an off-air.
This is a private story.
It's an off-air story. But no, it looked like a lot of fun, and hopefully, like the three of us will be able to get there at some point in the next 5 years.
So, look, guys, like I said, we should be planning for next year. Yeah, we'll be there next year. Say that.
I won't. Yeah, I'll be there next year.
We'll get
even
you
if I have to rob.
We'll get you there, Sloth.
I actually can't go. I will tell you why in a while. But let's get into
before we do that. Hold on, before we do that, just in case people somehow don't know about Jay, or somehow missed our 23rd episode.
How dare you?
Why aren't you watching the back catalogue of news about Destiny 1?
Can you just do a quick summary, Jay, of us? Not of us.
Oh,
can you do a quick summary
of you? You want me to give me? Okay, so of me. I can do my normal spiel. My name's Jay. JSniperton. I just go by J, the letter J. Name's John. Well, I love Destiny. Every once in a while, I play other games. Just I like chilling, hanging out, helping people do raids and all that kind of stuff. And I'm just lucky to be here, man. To be honest, on Twitch, on here, and I don't know.
So
I
what
live in Portland, Oregon. I'm 33 years old. I'm married. You know, the normal stuff.
No, you live in your mum's basement. And you're
Right, I'm bald. I'm on the basement.
You're
No,
a
you
balding
live in
road.
You bald rat.
It's an inside joke. They're not being assholes. It's
Yeah,
fine.
no. If you missed the start of the episode, go back and check it out. We're not that bad.
So over on Twitch, you know, mostly streaming Destiny. And what time can people catch you if they want to tune into your streams?
Roughly 10:30 p.m. Pacific till probably 4:30. I may actually be starting to roll that back just a little bit, maybe an hour, so that I can try to get some afternoon streams in too on our side. So
awesome.
Oh, that's good. That means I won't have to wait until 3 p.m. to watch you. So that's always a plus.
But the good thing is that because Jay's here right now, and you know, on an Australian podcast. The reason, like, Jay's one of the first, like, streamers that I ever watched religiously because he's on when we can fucking get and watch after work. And he's got a dog, so if you've got children, you can be like, look at the dog. Look at Bailey. Bailey's asleep. Just ignore all the violence going on the screen. Look at the dog.
and the vulgar adult conversation.
Yeah, and the vulgarity. And
yeah.
It's fine.
Put it on mute.
Ladies and gentlemen, this week has heralded the introduction of Solstice of Heroes, which has been touted on the T-Web and Twitter and all that sort of thing for the last few months. What are you guys' thoughts on the events? What's your impressions of it? How are you enjoying it?
Dude, I love it. I love it so much. The campaign, like, I went solo and I was like, this is how the campaign should have been. It was challenging, but not frustrating. Plenty of heavy, plenty of supers, lots of yellow bars. Like, it just felt, and like each sort of section has mechanics, but when you're so overpowered, it doesn't matter. And I felt like the challenge was at the right level that you sort of had to pay attention to mechanics in each stage of those missions. And I thought they were done really well, particularly the almighty one, the one AU. Like, I was actually watching Jay's stream and he started way later than me and completed way earlier than me, but I was still having heaps of fun. Like, I was farming the elemental orbs. It took me so long to get through that the part with the sun's too close and you got to hide behind the shade and cover and that kind of
That is a pain in
Dude,
the ass.
I loved it. I fucking loved it. It was so
I don't mean in
challenging.
a bad way.
Like,
It was, it's just difficult.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I was like, man, I hope this is what some of the Forsaken campaign is like. I want this level of challenge. I don't want to like just steamroll through everything. And I really noticed like mechanics. I really noticed like things you have to do differently and like think about how to get through this encounter. So I've been really enjoying it. Almost done my Crucible kills too. So I'm almost onto the blue. Like a couple more Crucible kills.
Yeah.
A couple more Crucible kills. So that could be anywhere between 1 game and 10.
That ties in really well to the next subject we're going to discuss. So I might bring that back up a bit. We'll come full circle on the Crucible kills thing.
That's
but
my experience.
My experience with it so far has been I've really enjoyed it, and I've really enjoyed it for 2 reasons. A, I got to see the babushka doll bloody Sepix thing. What are they called? The
mini primes.
Servitors. Why aren't there more babushka doll type enemies that just fucking go? Like, why did it take them this long?
The Russian doll type thing.
Yeah. Oh fuck, they're everywhere.
But when I first saw that, it was like I was just like, what?
How far is this going to go?
how far down the rabbit hole? But it was really cool because they were tiny, but they still hit like a proper servitor, and I was not expecting that. I really wasn't. It was a lot of fun.
I went into it
like-
forewarned in that like I'd been on Twitter and seen the 8 million memes
Yeah.
circling about it before I started it. But even being prepared for it, it was kind of like this. Oh shit! That's splitting up again. Quick, super it or whatever, and it was good. The other thing that sorry.
I was just going to say the only thing on the little servitors, they're like, oh, they're so cute. And then you get Whisper of the Worm and like one-shots them with a precision. You just like, just one-shot them. You're like, isn't it cute?
The other part of it that I really enjoyed, and I put a tweet out this morning just talking about this and seeing if it's something that people are into, but the idea of building an armor set from green to blue to purple to masterwork, right? Like getting that sort of like everything you're doing is going into some kind of tangible progression for yourself. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed that. Like I don't even like the armor. I don't even like it to look at it on the Titan. I'm not particularly, like I don't really need gold rope as much as it might be helpful if I fall down a hole or something to get out. But I think that the idea of investing repeatedly into a piece of armor, I care about it, even though I don't particularly like it. So hopefully this is like a toe in the water for the devs to say, like people do enjoy this kind of thing, like a longer haul mechanic to upgrade gear. It doesn't have to be every armor set. Obviously, you don't want to be getting greens dropped from the raid and then have to start progressing and doing them all up. But at the same time,
maybe like an exotic quest or something could start like that.
Yeah.
Well, it's such a unique idea of like solving the issue of people being too overpowered for activities. And it's like, whoever thought of that, fantastic. Like you've got to equip all these gear sets, and when you do that, you make elemental orbs. Like that was such a clever way of like solving that problem with like people are too powerful, they're steamrolling through things. They're not enjoying the mechanics. Okay, but we don't want to just force them to wear gear with no reason. Like that was a really good solution.
How many of you guys in the first mission jumped down on the cylinder and tried to shoot the engine?
Yeah.
Oh my god! Every time.
Everybody?
Yeah.
Watch other people.
100%.
They're like, "What's going on?" Like I had the same reaction. I was like, and then all of a sudden, all these ads started.
And then I killed all the dudes, and then the mission finished. I was like, "What the fuck?"
I was like, "Did I get booted? What happened?"
It was a bit different.
It was definitely. It was definitely like I was like, "Why am I getting shocked? Why am I getting shocked? Why am I getting?" Okay, I'm dead. Well,
all right. So, Frothy, how have you found the event, mate?
Well, I started. Okay. I don't want to be negative about it. I really don't want to be negative.
But I am.
Shit.
I like the idea of the event. I really, really do. It is a really good idea. I didn't like the vanilla campaign, so doing the vanilla campaign again, even though it's a bit more difficult with a little bit more nuance on the enemies and like a few more things that you have to do and a few changes, which is really nice, I'm not a fan.
Okay.
The PV, like the building of the armor, really cool. Is a really, really, really cool. Sorry, I've got the hiccups. It's a really, really cool idea, and I love it. I hope that is something that they can bring in there. So you see a legendary armor set that looks like for Titan, Valkaor from Spyro Stars. If you could wear that as a Titan, I would grind the shit out of that until I could grind no more. But it's a little bit too much of the same.
See, I feel like they changed them enough that I didn't even feel like it was repeating, like I felt like there was enough change that I thoroughly enjoyed them more than the first time around the campaign, And
don't get me wrong, like this is all coming from me. I don't expect everyone else to have this opinion by any stretch of the imagination, but it's not something that, like 405, like if you can get to 405, aces, well done. If you can, like I saw Versus has done masterworked all 3 sets of armor on all these characters, has the ship, well done. But I don't enjoy grind of doing the same missions that we've done beforehand over and over and over again. And again, with the Crucible, there's a different thing entirely. But with the whole thing, really looks really good. It is for the most part has been. They have done a good job of presenting it and then letting everyone play it. It's really, really cool. There's not really too many bugs with it. It's just not something that I enjoy. Like the grind is not something that I enjoy, unfortunately. And I love the game, but it's just not something that I really enjoy. So,
all right, Jay, you want to bring it back up again and say nice things? Or?
So there's a few.
Jay's like, I fucking hate it too.
There's things that I like, and then there's things that I wish that were different, right? The things that I like are, this is a really good strategical move from them to keep the bridge of hype going from Warmind and the latest patch all the way to Forsaken. Like, that is awesome. Hopefully they take that into the next DLCs, right? So there's really no like lulls and dips in content. Also, I think it was smart of them to have slightly different. So the different characters that you do actually have different stuff that you grind. Like, people were like, hey, I need to do this and I need to do that. I was like, I don't even have to do that for my Titans. So that's cool. Thinking about doing that. I agree with Sloth. Like, thinking about it doing 3 characters, that's 6 times through the story again. That feels a little weird to me. Like 3 times easy, 3 times difficult's a little yucky. But overall, I think it's really good. Again, I'm not a huge fan of the armor either, but I'm not an aesthetics guy. For me, I wish that the armor had more. I wish it was more meaningful. And this is my whole big thing in Destiny 2 in general, is that for somebody who's more about function over form factor over looks and stuff, it's not really for me. Now, I'm hoping that the mod system 2.0 fixes that, and so that we can create each set of armor. Like, okay, this is my Crucible set of armor. This is my Raid set of armor. This is my Strike set of armor. You know what I mean? Like, so you can actually create a set of armor, make it look however you want, and then there's a reason to switch your armor, right, when you're doing different activities. So I hope that gets integrated into events like this, so that it's not just cosmetic. Because really, I don't care. About grinding all 3 characters or all 9 characters on 3 platforms. But
see, the only reason I'm doing it is to get to 405 or whatever.
Yeah,
that's the only reason.
And that's the other point as well. That you will cross that threshold within 15 minutes to half an hour to an hour, depending on how slow you take Forsaken. If you if you go and explore every beautiful skyline, every rancid crevice of Forsaken of this new area.
Rancid crevice.
That is not what I meant. Get your minds out of the gutter.
Doesn't matter. That's the word of the week, people. Rancid crevice. It's a hyphenate
but word. You will cross that threshold of 405 and further on, because what's the max light? 600 or something like that.
Is it
max power?
Remember, it's a 500
level 50, 600.
See, but you're also assuming that the level system is going to be very similar to what we've already always had.
Well,
we don't know if it's going to be a
true.
massive fucking grind. It could be.
That is also,
Well, I guess not for 15 light levels. You're right. I think you'll surpass.
So for 20 power levels, I just don't see if it was worth it. Now, if it was if the armor, as Jay said, if it was if you could choose, so that if you from here on in, into Forsaken in the future, if you go, I have this green set of armor, it is a set, it is built to be together, and it was and the legendary part of it was in strikes you get more chance of exotics, you have more power to solar if you're a Titan main like Log J and I. And
he used to be one of us, Matt. Used to be one of us.
Hey, look, call me a Titan main.
Jay's offended too.
I don't have a choice for it now, goddamn.
So it's just sorry about that. Like you could choose the perks. You could choose the perks. Choose the perks, and as you leveled it up, you could choose the perks and turn it into your strike set, your raid set, your PvP set, your fashion set. If you want to be like, fashion Destiny, oh my god, it just looks so pretty.
I think that's ultimately where I'd love to see this kind of mechanic go, is to maybe not on every armor set, but say, you get in the early days of, it might not be Forsaken, it might be the next expansion, whatever, but you get a Crucible based set of gear, and you spend the time leveling it up through the Crucible to get, the purple legendary masterwork versions down the line, and they have buffs on them that are specific to the task that they're designed for. Yeah. Or buffs for the planet that you get them from, or buffs from the strike, like if they're Vanguard stuff, you get buffs in strike. So you've got a reason to maintain more than one or two armor sets, and then, have them on hand.
Hey, as a side note, what about this idea for, like your ornaments, right? I feel like I would chase ornaments more if they were like on the gear piece, like those tasks are for the set. So, your Vanguard set
like
has,
complete style ornaments that are super badass.
Yeah. So like rather than the ornaments sitting with you, like your Vanguard, and you have to go and look at them, like have what you need to do to get that.
Okay. Yeah, you want a different box, like in the armor set, and just go, all right, you scroll onto it and you go year 1, year 2, year 3, or season 1, season 2, season 3. Here's your ornament, and this is what you have to do to get your ornament. Like it doesn't, you don't have to unlock it.
You go into your like character, like, because I just find it was so natural to like open up your character and go, okay, what mission do I need to do? What orbs? Okay, I need to do Earth stuff, and I need to do solar orbs. And it was so easy to know like what the goal was, and then you go to Earth and you like create solar orbs, and you do public events while you're doing that. And you do patrols, and I was like, I never work towards ornaments because I never bothered checking what I need to do.
Absolutely. I think it was a really intuitive system. If it was on the
gear, I would probably do it. Like if it was right there, and every time I looked at it, I was like, fuck, I want to tick that box. Like I would probably like go and do that activity.
We lost Jay.
Jay's had enough. He's like, I'm out. Fuck, that's a shit idea, man.
That's a shit idea. I'm hanging up this call. I think that I'm with you, Matt. I'm with you, and I think no, I've lost it. Never mind.
Good, man.
I've totally lost my idea. I had an idea and it's gone.
Would that work? I don't know if that would work, but I would.
I think that'd be a very small quality of life change, like from moving it from the modifications and the transmats to something else. It's just one of those things. Anyway,
the other thing quickly before we move on, just on touching on Matt's point, having it on the armor is really fucking convenient too. Like, there's been heaps of times when I'm midway through a mission and go in and I quickly take 2 seconds to scroll over everything and go, I've got enough of those orbs now, I can change. Yeah, it's not really like going through menus or anything like that. It's really quick, really good to have it at hand. So,
I was just going to ask, does anybody here have insight how many activities actually take advantage of 400 or 405 light? I feel like most stuff is capped.
I don't think any. I was watching Dato's video. I was watching Dato's
Prestige.
Dato did a video this morning on Whisper of the Worm and Darcy, and in that he was saying doesn't matter if you've got your Whisper at 405 or if you've got it at 385 because it's I think the boss is level 300, so you're already whatever that cap is, you're already so much over that you're not doing any more damage.
It's just like they did the light increase, and it's like, well, then what's exactly is the point? What kind of advantage do you get from that light level, if any?
E-penis.
Well, Sassy,
I think it's Forsaken prep. I think the only advantage is being a high light level going into Forsaken. I think that's the only functional part of it right now.
That and the most valuable thing of all, bragging rights.
Well, I mean, that's also true. But I mean, Sassy in the chat was saying that Eater of Worlds and Spyro Stars are the only things, like the prestige versions of those are the only things that would take advantage of that. And even then, I mean, how long did it take for Worlds First? Like for those crazy Clan Redeem dudes?
2 hours, an hour and a half, 2.5 or whatever it was.
2.5 hours on both. Like, You know, like, and that was at
Okay.
385.
Maybe
So
not even that.
So prestige will, so it will be functional and prestige. But you know what I think it's good for is like I'm starting new characters and like I feel I can get on and solo and just grind this and not have to raid. And it's an option to level up my characters. And I know what the goals are. And I know if I put enough time in, I'll have all my new characters up to, 385 and above just by doing this. And I don't have to organize a raid or don't have to do anything. I can just turn on and I can just grind out a little bit each day and know that I'm getting there. So I think that's probably an advantage for some people that don't do raids. Like this is a great activity for them to experience that higher light level as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah,
do that for my
absolutely.
warlocks here soon. Before for a
Yeah,
second.
right.
For those who don't know, I
What
have
is
no
a-
warlocks right now because I deleted them.
what is a warlock?
Yeah, right. Sad about it.
All right.
All right, we'll seg into our next issue that we're going to discuss. And I was honestly hoping, this has been going around for a week and a half now, I think, and I really hoped that it would just die out and something would be done about it and we wouldn't really need to discuss it because it's not kind of our jam. But I figure we need to talk about it because we're average and that we seem to be in the middle of everything. There's two very separated poles when it comes to the skill-based and connection-based matchmaking stuff that we've had over the last 2 weeks or whatever, that we probably need to just at least speak a little bit about it. Now, for mine, I wanted to speak about it after Solstice of Heroes because Solstice is forcing people to go into the Crucible, right? Like whether you could be the kind of person who never goes in there, who knows that they suck at it or doesn't want to get better at it, and still has to go in there and get what ends up being a fair amount of kills. Like, I mean, it took me a few hours to do it. And you are getting put against people who are just monsters. And for mine, I think that's crappy. Like, there's no two ways about it. Like, if you're on the bottom end of the scale, it is a shit time. I think it should have been addressed before Solstice came out, one way or another. So, I don't know, guys. I just sort of thought we'd put it out there and at least all have our say or put an opinion forward on what we think would make the situation better. If that is
So,
that is not the
haven't
most
had
dangerous
that.
thing you could possibly do.
So, I mean, I played Crucible for a bunch this morning to get the super kills, and I had plenty of good games, and some games just got absolutely stomped. But I actually really enjoyed my time in the Crucible, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if
Listen, like when it comes to the Crucible, like you trying to go in solo, like a lot of people can't. So if you're, a Destiny streamer and you're somewhat successful, you can go in with a six stack, or you have a clan, or you have a lot of friends. You can go in with a 6-stack, and it's a little bit better because you're playing with friends or you're playing with people that have a common interest with you. And you can have a laugh about it and all that sort of thing. But trying to go into Crucible as a solo or anything less than a 3-stack, like I was watching Tolga go in with Pringles, one of the dudes from his community, and they came up against 3 6-stacks. 3 6-stacks as a 2-stack, and they got rolled. They got rolled. So going in as a 6-stack wouldn't be too bad, but going in as a solo or anything less than that, it can be. You can either be a god or you will get pub stomped.
Well, what about what Sassy was doing with the super kills?
Oh, I mean, that's sort of. I sat there and I was on his side, and it was that ridiculous that I felt fucking bad. Where let's not even bother capping the points. I'm going to go around and repeatedly team wipe this team into fucking oblivion. And you guys just run around and get the orbs. And this is like 2 dudes, mind you, out of our 6-man team. And I was literally just doing nothing other than running around, picking up orbs and supering. And I'm like, this isn't right. Like, I mean, yeah, sure, it's fun for us because all we're doing is going around throwing hammers at people all day. But the people on the other team, imagine how that is. It's just like, how the fuck have they got supers again? How the fuck have they got, like, that was all it was. And yeah, sure, it's great to get in there and boost your, everyone's grinding out these missions and that. But I think that kind of thing really needs, like, I understand that, people don't want to be sweating all the time when they're playing these things. And the way the skill-based matchmaking was, and me and Matt saw it when we played Iron Banner with Sass, and we were playing against, him having him in our party would pull the average skill up probably tenfold because me and Matt are shit.
Yeah,
and we'd be
never
like,
enjoyed
oh, fuck, playing these people that are really good all the time.
Ever.
So I think as it is right now, the people at the bottom end and the top end, like there is too much disparity, right? Like, see, and I'm not gonna come out and argue with him. I'm not gonna come out and say like, Triple Rex wrong, because I understand that he speaks to the issues from his perspective. But he's got people at both ends of the spectrum need to remember that he's in the top 1% probably. So his opinion really only matters to that very small demographic, and there's so many people in the middle that are kind of like, to me, it hasn't made a huge difference. I'm watching people posting about just getting slaughtered game after game. So clearly something's out of whack. It needs to be addressed. Now, talking to Sassy, his opinion is that it really needs to come back to group protection. Like, you should not be playing against groups if you are single stacking in. Because, one player, and use our games the other night as an example, one player, sure, they can have a huge impact. One gun player can be a absolute monster to the other team. But the thing that made it ridiculous the other night is that we were coordinating. He'd go, I'm going to crack mine. He was gunslinger, so he's creating orbs for us. I'm cracking it now. Everyone would run through behind him, pick up the orbs, and it was just this bullshit roll on sort of. It was it was insane. But you can't do that if it's only being put against other small teams, right? There's no cross team, 6-man coordinated effort against people who aren't even communicating. Yeah. So I think that's my take.
I would like to see that group protection too, because you see that in Overwatch all the time. Like, I've been playing a lot of Overwatch of late. If you're in a two stack and everyone else is solo queuing in quick play, or in comp, you will only come up against 2 stacks and then solo queue. And it's the same 3, 4, 5, 6. So I would like to see that group protection come in. I don't give a stuff about connection based or skill based, because on PC, the connections aren't bad. They're not bad. I have not had any sort of people jumping around corners and all that sort of thing as what I saw on console in D2 and D1. D2 connections on PC aren't bad at all.
Do you guys typically play on Europe servers?
No, NA.
NA.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
We're just
have you
disowned by everywhere. we're down here
you're
in the
so
middle
far,
of the
like you're far away from everything, so it doesn't really.
We got a really big cable that runs to America though, so it's better to go to America.
Yeah.
Big cable.
Just can you make that motion again, please?
No.
And just pretend that big cable going into your mouth.
It's a big cable.
But the like, obviously everyone has their own experiences with PvP. But when the three of us have been playing together, audio listeners, Matt, Log, and I, when we've been playing together, the connections have not been horrible. When I've been playing on the American side, so like we play on the NA, but we're in our own little bubble. So we may get people from America, but we usually come up against other Australians.
We come up against Aussies. And that harkens back to another big issue that will alleviate a lot of the suffering that is going on now in both senses, is that Forsaken will hopefully bring people back, and with that, player population increases. Now, for us, on PC in Australia, right now, I reckon I could write you out a list of 30 fucking people's handles that I will run into nearly every night that I play. Like, that's how small it is.
I was just playing before, and we match against the same people 3 times in a row.
Yeah, so once, and like, that never used to happen on Xbox, right? Like, that was not a thing. So I think that hopefully there's a few things that, hopefully, like, honestly, the group protection thing needs to happen. And if we can get, more people in with Forsaken, we will, I think that'll alleviate the drama as well. Sorry, Sloth, I didn't mean to jump on you there, man.
But the good thing about not having skill-based matchmaking is that if you come up against your aura, not the evil type, but the aura that the part of Sassy's clan, the aura Sassy, the people who have really high MMR, very, very good, great game sense and all that sort of thing. If you match against those good dudes, you will get better at PvP. It may seem like you're just getting stomped, but you will play better because you're playing against better people. And I don't see that as a bad thing. If you want to get better at PvP, or maybe you're just going to do it through osmosis by playing it. You're going to get better at it by playing it against those people, and then maybe you might start enjoying PvP. But
do we think
it
forgive this existential question? Forgive this existential question, but do you think that if skill-based matchmaking goes out the window, we're going to see a heaps bigger spread in like KDs and stuff? Like people at the top end will have these ridiculous KDs where they don't now because they're being put against people at their own skill level. Like, I don't know. I'm just really interested to see what happens. Like, I'm not advocating anyone to get fucking pumped or anyone to just roll on people, whatever. But I think that people who are really skilled need to have the ability to, like, it sounds shit, but that's their thing. They can flex on people and destroy people, and that's okay as long as it's for a game, not again and again and again and again.
It's quick play, and it's quick play as well. It's not, you're not playing for sheep stations. You're not playing for $1 million. So there's no money on the table. If you don't enjoy playing against those people at this point in time, wait 5 minutes, then try and match again with someone else.
Yep.
Anyway, sorry, Jay. What's your take on it? After
I had kind of an epiphany a little earlier today, thinking about this specific subject from like the notes that you had. What I say, and I don't have any dogs in the fight, but this is just something I noticed. The people at the top of the game don't want skill-based matchmaking because they feel that they're going to play against the really good players all the time, and they want to have a relaxing experience, and they want to do really well, right? Yeah. And then you have the other side of the spectrum about people that are maybe not so good, that they want skill-based matchmaking because they don't have as much experience. They want to like slowly work their way up. And there's this thing that's happening where when the maybe not so good players respond to a top player's tweet or something, the top player will respond with, well, you just need to get better. You need to learn from that, all that stuff. But it feels hypocritical to me because they want things to not be so difficult. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they want
but
then they're saying to other people they need to get better. So it's like, well, which side of the coin?
But if everyone goes better, then you'll be sweating again.
Right.
You know what? At the end of the day, like when you are that good of a player, you will come up against people who are that good. Guess what? That is what you get. It's performance-based punishment. You get what you strive for.
That'll make them better players, right? I mean, well, theoretically, if you're here and you're playing against people here, like you're gonna either get better or you're gonna not.
Yeah, well, I mean that's exactly right. Like at the end of the day, it's quick play. Like we said, it's quick play. It's either you play it and you get the like, to tie back to the Solstice of Heroes, you play it however long it takes. You either wait until Mayhem next week and get all of the super kills and all that sort of thing. But you either play it and get the Solstice armor, or you don't and miss out. And as much as I hate to see that, because I don't like Bungie forcing people into PvP, because a lot of people just don't do it. They just don't do it. However, it is part of the game. It is part of the game, and it is an end game activity. If you want to do it, do it. But I would have rather see Bungie go, do 30 super kills in Crucible, or do a prestige.
Because there's no raid stuff really, other than
there is no raids.
So
yes, there is at the legendary status.
Right, you have to do prestige, but I would have liked to have seen more like regular raids incorporated in there, like you said, as the either or thing. Like you can either do, get 10 wins or 5 wins, or do, because something that's comparable time wise, theoretically.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it, to be honest. I didn't mind the Crucible.
I didn't either personally, but
the option would have been nice.
Yeah.
The option would have been nice. So for the people who play PvP and the people who play PvE. But anyway,
I think we'll move on now. We'll move on. We've been very serious for far too long. So what I'm gonna do is do the one thing here that just completely just turns the show on its head, and we all look forward to it every week. And I'm gonna preface it by saying, Matt, I'm sorry.
Oh no.
Hi, I'm Man-at-Arms. You may know me from such classics as Hardlight, Why You Need It, or Lethal Weapon 3. I've brought you many different products over the years, but today I want to share a new book with you that is going to become the great Australian novel of our time. Mylan Games Lore, Adventures, and Fairy Tales. That's right, Mylan has released a collection of stories and nursery rhymes that will not only entertain, but educate your little ones on the lore, the darkness, as well as potty training. Let's give it a listen. The ABCs of Grimoire. D. D is for Devastation Complex, to protect you from the Vex. E. E is for Aphrodite, very strong and chic. F. F is for Fellwinter, whose Nova Bombs made splinters. G. G is for Grimoire. It's really not such a bore. H. H is for Worm God. Hungry, hungry Worm God that eats all your light if you're a naughty child. Yup. Mylan also gives us masterfully written bedtime stories like Good Night Cade, as recited by Sir Sean Connery.
Good night, Cade. Good night, Shah Aul. Good night to the Witch Queen Javathun. Good night, Light and Lady Perun. Good night, Clovis Spray. Good night, Ikoru. Good night to Zavala saying shush. Good night to Shax and Lord Saladin's axe. Good night to all the Red Jacks.
Beautiful, both skillful and soothing. Or this timeless classic, Blue Loot and Purple Engrams, as read by Christopher Walken. I would not, could not in this timeline. I could not, would not with the 9. I will not take them from Ashamir. I will not take them from Razil Azir. I will not take them from Kabir. I will not take them while you are here. I do not like Purple Engrams. I do not like you. Whoa, Rahul, my man. Thank you. But in addition to the 777 rhymes and lullabies, we are also including Mylan's Tall Tale series to help amuse your little guardians at playtime. Such cherished childhood tales like The Mouse and the Warmind, Pahanan's Big Day, Toland and the Hive, a love story, The Three Little Cryptarchs, Why Don't Guardians Have Beards, and the epic poem, Osiris, Whose Timeline Is This Anyway? For the older children, we are also including Mylan's Adventure series, so that your curious little titans and hunters can sojourn with their favorite hero, Mylan Games, as he learns about life, love, and an infinite multiverse full of possibilities. Adventures like Mylan and Anon in the Big Apple, Mylan and the Three-Way Mirror of Pradith, Say Peace and Die, The Cloak of Many Mylans, The Abominable War Mind of Pasadena, Mylan Mows the Black Garden, and my personal favorite, Mylan and the Mystery of the Flat Lemonade. And if you call now, as a bonus for you parents, we will include a free copy of Mylan's autobiography entitled My Friends Are Total Dickheads by Mylan Games. This has been Man-at-Arms. Peace.
Who the heck did that?
Oh my god.
Man-at-Arms. He normally does like a 25-second ad every week that we run, just a piss take of guns or whatever. But I gave him a week off last week after the law book came out. I said, just do something on this. And he made a fucking 4-minute infomercial. So.
The amount of sheer fucking effort in that infomercial. The amount of graphics.
Yeah, Keggy helped him out. They've been working together, so it's... Oh, dude. I'm going to get myself a copy of Mylan and Anon in the Big Apple.
So
My
pitch it
favorite
to
was
us, Mylan. Why should we buy these books?
Marlon Mo's The Black Garden. Fuck that, if that doesn't sell you, then nothing will.
Oh, man.
Oh.
Oh, well. It's good to
And-
laugh.
But where
It's good
is
to
the
laugh.
one about the choking blade, Matt? Where is the one
Yeah,
about the
look.
choking blade?
I think that would have convinced Jay if there was a choking blade, or at least Velveeta in there.
What do you, just before we go into the news, tell the story of the choking blade. That came up. That's the dude that's on Mars, isn't it? It's the
No,
One of
Escalation
the,
Protocol guy.
yeah,
one of the
Escalation
EP
Protocol.
bosses.
One of the EP bosses. It was.
Oh my
It's.
God.
It's an interesting name for a boss. Choking Blade.
50 Shades of Choking Blade.
There were
Let's
high
go.
hopes for a lore video that was never told about Choking Blade. So it's in the words of Luke Smith, it's been shelved.
The character was exited effectively. Let's move on.
the chat has come up with 50 Shades of Choking Blade, 50 Blades Darker.
Yeah, there you go, Matt. Some ideas for you to work on in your career as a novelist. Let's get into the news. Holy shit, we normally do it first, but it's an hour later. Let's get into it.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, from the news of week at Bungie, checking them off one by one as you. Such as destination weapons and armor sets will still be available in Season 4. However, Year 1 items will be retired upon Forsaken release. So, if you are out here trying to chase the full armor and weapon set from Anna Bray, and you're just like, hey, Anna, can I just get this? Can I that good? And she's not giving it to you, you better start grinding hard because you've only got a limited time before it goes away.
I would recommend using the website destinysets.com. It was featured in the community focus.
Yep.
It
Much
is
deserved community
excellent.
focus. Super powerful.
Yeah,
too.
it is. It is really nice to use to see what you're missing. So, destinysets.com.
And the stock will be refreshed with a new year featuring random role players to earn in year 2. Check out the fan name website Destiny Sets if you haven't checked it out yet. The combat stream, as we alluded to last week as well, year 2 reveal stream will be on Tuesday, 7th of August at 10 a.m. Pacific time, or 3 a.m. Wednesday, August 8th, Australian Eastern Standard Time, on twitch.tv/Bungie or youtube.com/Bungie. It'll be it's dual cast on both of those websites. So if you would like to go check that out, please make sure you do that.
So the biggest sort of thing I saw from that is the 3-tap hand cannons.
Yeah,
like
dude,
that
I was just about to jump on that.
all. That was all that was on my feed.
Yeah,
on Twitter,
It's just
on
PvP,
YouTube.
PvP hardcore dudes just touching themselves, thinking about it. Just right,
Oh, man.
right.
Like,
Ooh, I can't wait, minute.
It's got to be like Rampage involved in something like that or something, maybe.
No, well,
Yeah.
it was. What was it? Battle Devils, though, right?
Yeah, it was a Battle Devils.
I haven't watched
Oh,
it.
mods
so...
though.
Hmm?
The new mod system.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, but what's happening?
Well, I mean, that's very
But
true.
what's happening with
And
year 1
random rolls.
stuff? Are they not? They won't have Better Devils won't have random rolls.
No, the year 1 weapons will not have confirmed this.
But they
unless
showed,
that has
didn't they
changed.
show pictures
They-
of
no,
like a
they
dozen
read-
different kinds of better devils?
They said that
They
there's
showed, like-
some that they'll be bringing
I
forward.
don't know.
They said that there's some they'll be bringing forward that will have random
In
rolls.
that picture on the
and I am
top.
willing to bet my mortgage on the fact that Better Devils is one of them. So
Yeah, they did have different colors in that
Okay.
on the
Okay.
12.
That's
with
how
the
I
Better
took it.
Devils.
Is that there's going to be random rolls on that gun. So
Well,
See,
there you go.
I thought the opposite when I read that. I was like, oh, this one's not changing. For some
maybe
reason.
that's a different gun with the same look.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Slightly
Um,
upgraded version.
oh,
Have Better Devils.
We don't need any more of that,
So-
Jay, please.
The
Reskins.
What is it? Another
just saying.
ES Luna version 2. So make sure you check that out, guys. There is going to be a reveal stream. Lots of things. I won't be watching it personally because I want to go into Forsaken blind. But if you want to check that out, Twitch, YouTube. 10th, the 7th of August, 10 a.m. PT. The Elemental
Reading that again,
Orb.
I think Jay's 100% right. Just reading the TWAB again on the Better Devils. Yeah. They'll probably have random rolls and something on there. Going for the God roll Better Devils 3 tap. Clickbait right now.
Yeah, it gives the PvP
I
guys
can't
something to
fucking
say.
wait to see that in my feed every second day. I just want that God roll thumbnail every second fucking day, man. Yes.
So
I've missed it from my life.
in the TWAB as well, they've got the Elemental Generation tips. We won't cover that here. But if you would like to check that out, that is also in the TWAB. The known issues, however, we will. Reports of players unable to progress through mission barriers after the joining allies message. To troubleshoot the issue, attempt to wipe, respawn. Otherwise, players will need to return to the tower and restart the mission. So I have actually been, seen this, been victim to this. It is kind of frustrating, but yes, as the TWAB says, please try and wipe as best you can. It should get rid of the barrier. But if it doesn't, yes, you will have to go and restart the mission in the tower. It is frustrating, but you only have to put up with it until the 28th of August. So just be calm and get on with it.
Wipe as best you can. I like it.
Say again.
Wipe as best you can. Maybe some baby
Wipe
wipes.
as best you can. Yes, exactly.
Shouldn't we all be doing
some
that
players
at all
are
times? But
Sorry. I do.
Some players are unable to upgrade their Solstice objectives. So they haven't got a fix for that. You'll just have to keep an eye out for Bungie at Bungie Help on Twitter, and just let them know that that is a bug that you're experiencing. Maybe try and hard restart the game, restart the launcher if you're playing on PC, or do a hard restart of your console. Objectives requiring specific Crucible Valor ranks are not progressing for some players. Didn't even know that was a thing. There you go. So just keep playing the Crucible. Keep enjoying it. Play as a 6-stack. You won't have a bad time. Trust. Solo weapon kill objectives sometimes do not gain progress, and solo super kill objectives for the Rekindle Titan helmet is progressing slower. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Unfortunately, as frustrating and as smarmy as that sounds, you're just gonna have to deal with it, guys. It is buggy. It is a live event. Of course, it's going to be buggy. So just at Bungie Help on Twitter, start a Twitter account and just say, "Yep, this is happening." Be polite. They are people on the other end as well. Hey, at Bungie Help, this is happening. Just thought I'd let you guys know, so they know that people are still having the issue. If you have the issue, please report it correctly, either through the Bungie forum or on the Bungie Help at Twitter. Do it correctly. Do it with some modicum of restraint. Try not to go and at them because it just doesn't solve anything. Just chill. Okay.
Right.
Cool.
I'm glad we got to that point.
Can we mention a couple of things on the infographic that was in the
We absolutely
T1
can.
as well?
We absolutely can. And while we do that, I'm going to open up the chat thing. So if anyone's got any crushing questions that they feel like they want to ask the three of us, four of us actually, because Jay's here, we've got guests and I'm being rude. Yeah, just fire away.
So,
Matt, dive in. It was a pretty massive infographic.
What I really enjoyed looking at with the infographic is the number of players with Whisper of the Worm and the number of players with Redrick's Claymore. And number of players with Redrick's Claymore is less than 9,000, 8,750, which is crazy considering the player base of Destiny. And I just thought, that's fucking cool. That is so cool. Like, people who worked for that gun should be proud that they have that weapon in Crucible, because that is like, does anyone know the player base?
It's like 400
active player base of Destiny,
I think, at the moment. It's like 400.
No, it's been more than that.
No, but like that's the daily logins is like that.
Oh, daily logins. Yeah. Okay.
So but the question is, if the gun was better, would that number be higher? Because I've heard from people that it's not that great.
I've heard that too.
It's okay, but it's not like as good as Vigilant Swing or Graviton.
It'd be interesting. That was an interesting question. I guess I would look at Whisper though. Whisper's still like
Whisper's so
good
it would
though.
Be. It's so good.
So Whisper's so good, and you've got around 200,000 people that have got it. That's not very high, to be honest.
It's only
right?
been what 3 weeks? Not even 3 weeks now.
3 weeks because you've done the
Total of
catalyst, so that's
6,
3
7.
weeks.
What is it? Friday, Saturday,
I think-
Sunday.
I
6,
think
7,
a
8
lot of-
days to get it. Yeah.
That's true. As
I think a
well.
lot of people are A, fearful that they won't get it done, and B, think that they need a team to get it done, like to get
The
get through the
Redrix.
jumping
Yeah,
puzzle
there's
and all that sort
more-
of thing.
Oh, you mean Whisper?
I'm talking about Whisper, and then a lot of people,
Well, you do need
a lot of
team, really.
people have. Well, yeah, you do, but it's not as much of a hard carry as what people think it is. You know, it is a very good gun and is very, very worth it. So please make sure you check it out. And a lot of people probably don't. They don't want to wait on IO for hours on end trying to get a.
Yeah.
I was very
trying to
lucky.
get a.
with that. I was very
I
lucky.
was too,
to
yeah.
get
I was
those ones.
very, very lucky.
Literally spawned in and it was just there.
Mm-hmm.
And
See,
didn't have
the-
Yeah, pretty lucky too.
And the chat are saying that like people are they're charging for runs to get a Redrix's Claymore and a Whisper and all that sort of thing. Like, don't pay for it. Here, I've got a website for you to go get a Whisper. Twitch.tv/JSniperton /syntax or /Spartan Sunny or /Struggle Bus TV or Old Fat and Saggy, or there are 1,000 Destiny server streamers who are A, really, really nice, really, really top people, and B, will be able to help you if you can get in and ask them. Jay has a lot of people in his chat. He's a very he does have a very large community, so trying to get in with him, you may not, but just definitely go and check out these dudes. They will do their best to help you.
Like, I mean,
don't
even if they
pay
can't,
for it,
there's,
for goodness
there's
sake.
normally people lurking in chat that probably can, and it's not, like
Exactly.
tap into
Do
the
not
community.
pay
It's
for it.
there. You don't need to pay for it.
I guess my point is seeing not everybody has it is going back to something like that makes the gun meaningful. And like not everyone has Whisper, so it becomes meaningful and is also powerful. And I just feel like that was missing for a really long period.
There's
of Destiny
something for
2.
people to fight for, like a Gallahorn or whatever it is.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's really cool. And we're all heading in the right. I really Destiny is so on track at the moment, and I think Forsaken's going to blow it out of the water. I really do, because I feel like you can see the mindset of the developers as we get things like Whisper and we get things like the Solstice. I feel like we can see the direction and their thinking as they go forwards, and hopefully that goes into Forsaken as well.
It's just that's sorry. Going with the paying for trials carries, paying for Redrix's claimers, and all that is.
I've got to
is
go
a
back and get angry
such-
about something.
that is such a trigger for me. Like people did that they did it for raid runs, they did it for fucking trials runs in D1. It is like, to do account recoveries on any platform is fucking illegal for one, on all of the platforms. Stop it. Just stop it. There are communities out there. If you have more money than sense,
Who
go
triggered
for
Sloth?
it.
I'm sorry. Next question.
Can I give my little perspective here on that real quick? Like,
Yeah.
just to
Yeah,
bring back the first, like, it's always been a thing. My view on it is it's not something that I would ever do. As far as charging people, it makes me sad that people feel like they have to resort to that. But I think I don't judge people that choose to do it or choose to pay for it, because the people that pay for it typically don't have time to do things like that, so they're like looking for the quickest way. Maybe they don't have a group of people to do it, and then like on the other side, it is a skill that somebody has and people have to eat. It's one of those things in life, like, you got to do what you got to do to survive, right? And it's not something I would ever do. It's not. I don't like it. The moral aspect of it for me, but I'm not gonna, like. It is definitely a trigger for me, but like, I don't get.
But on the other side of the coin, in that respect, Jay, and I liken this back to way back in the day, and I know that I remember watching this as that person that was doing account recoveries and using your fire team to get that account recovery through and was
Yeah,
getting paid
that was
for
no
it. Like
bueno.
It's morally wrong if you don't have the time to play the game. Spend your money on something else, like legitimately.
I don't agree fully with that because I agree to a certain extent when it's a specific weapon, right? Like I don't agree with paying for someone to get Redrix because Redrix should be a badge that you are really good at PvP. I don't have an
Exactly.
issue for people who, you know, like for me, when I was streaming and I had 3 fucking consoles and 3 characters on each, like I had help to get those characters to level so I could be raid ready. And luckily, my brother and Sassy and people did it for free, but I wouldn't mind paying people to do that. And doing if I've done it
That's a
once on
different.
one character,
That's a
that's fine.
that's completely different though, Matt. You know, like, and also you didn't do it yourself. You're not a real streamer. Stop it.
Oh! All right, let's close the door.
Just
on
wait
that.
till you wait till your next login, Sloth. You've been banned.
I've been banned. He's called Barry. I've been banned. Feels bad, man.
Fucking banned.
But no, I'm going to be very, very staunch on this stance. Is that it's very, it's just wrong.
It's incredibly murky. I think we can say that at the absolute best, it's incredibly murky. But let's get into some quick questions. I've got one for Jay, and I've been wanting to ask him this since earlier in the week when I knew he was coming on. But as someone whose bread and butter is raids, what are you hoping for in the new raid? What is there anything that are you going in completely like entertain me, or like what is there anything you would like to see, or anything you would like to see return from previous raids in terms of mechanics or things like that? Anything at all?
The easiest way for me to answer that is just say meaningful gear, like we were talking about earlier. Gear,
Yeah.
no, like seriously, like I want the gear to be special in that like there's a reason to get it other than just the cosmetic. I mean, I don't think many of us are fans of the Eater of Worlds or the Spire of Stars, even how it looks, the armor, right? And there's no special perks on it. I mean, there's the mods, but it's the same on all the it's the same on all the raids. So gear is always like probably number one for me because that's one of the reasons why I play Destiny is the gear. As far as the raid mechanics,
what would make
and stuff,
it meaningful? Like in your mind, what makes it meaningful?
it changes the experience of what you're doing other than just cosmetics.
So like, so you don't have a preference for like, would you want raid specific perks, or would you want like more global perks, or would you want like?
I want raid specific perks. If I'm
think
getting
raid-
it in the raid,
You're getting
I
it
want
like
raid
Wrath of the
specific
Machine
specific
type
perks.
armor.
Yep.
Hey? Like that's
Yep.
what you mean. Yeah.
That's
I
what I
agree.
thought when they were originally talking about raid armor perks. I thought that they were going to have specific encounter buffs, like, better agility when you're engulfed, or more damage to a dog in the garden, or like I thought it was going to be specific encounters, and then they did these really generalized buffs. And I think based on like where they were, that's what they could do at the time. I'm hoping that moving forward, it's like okay, well, the raid is a little bit easier and a little bit more fun to play, and maybe a little bit faster, or like your movement speed and stuff if you get these pieces. And it's the same, like, Goth's always talked about it, like strike specific armor and things that make things more fun, and strikes and all that stuff. So as far as drops, I would love to see that stuff. And I'm hoping that mods maybe you get a specific mod from the raid that you can only get from the raid that's encounter specific, and you can put it on whatever piece or what. So like, I think they have a freedom there to make it work. I'm just interested to see if they end up doing it that way.
So as someone done like a lot of raids every week, not anywhere near the number of what you do, Jay, but was striking hand always a thing with the raid armor, or was that after the post raid armor patch?
It was post armor raid patch.
Okay,
because there was nothing armor like raid specific.
It was all absolutely cosmetic, wasn't it?
I mean, they had the normal mods like faster kinetic mod, or
Yeah.
faster
But I
reload and
mean,
all that stuff.
nothing raid specific.
Mhm.
Like striking hand is incredible. It is incredible modifier on your arms, and then giving hand, which more heavy and all that
good for
sort of thing,
Spire,
which
yeah.
is really good for Spire.
So that's one
You know,
thing
like-
with the armor, Jay. What about like time wise? Like, we've had such differences now in the length of like sort of average length of time to complete raids. Do you have sort of a sweet spot that you would want to see?
I mean, that's always going to depend on the team that you go in with.
Yeah.
I think with an average fire team, around an hour and a half is probably the sweet spot. Personally, like
Once
maybe
you know the encounters and mechanics and all that kind of stuff.
Less
Yeah.
experienced team, is going to take longer, and a more experienced team is going to be quicker. It's just how it's always been.
Yeah. But
there was
the
something else.
changing of the raids in the Dreaming City, like the changing of we don't know how it's going to change
The
every
raid
week.
itself is not changing.
Is it not? Okay, so
I originally thought that too, and I thought it was a cool idea, but it's not. It's like
space.
Dreadnought. Think Dreadnought
Yeah.
and King's Fall, right? Dreadnought is the space in which the raid took place, and that will be changing in the Dreaming City. The landscape of that will change, but the raid itself won't. Is how I understood it.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well.
It's okay. So I absolutely misunderstood that in the as well. So, but a question here from K-Jack. How would you feel about bringing back a Grimoire score? I'd love it. I would love to see that, but that is also part of the tracking of the tracking of like the grimoire per se, like the memories.
What's it called? I like the Age of Triumph book. What was the name for it again?
Well, there's that, and there's also the codices that are coming in as well. So you've got like you can track and you can go through and look at that. If you need to find it, then you can go and find it, and then you can reference that all the time. And then you go, as if you're a streamer and someone goes, oh, what have you got grimoire wise? If anyone who is really involved in the like Matt's community is, and you can just go, well, you can open up your codex and go, yeah, I've got this to this, I'm missing this, and it's really cool, and you could go back and read through it. So I don't think they need to bring back a grimoire.
Yeah, I would be surprised if there's not like an emblem for each section of your record book. So you could probably put on an emblem that shows your lore entry collection.
Yeah,
like that would make sense.
So,
and then if you're Crucible, you would have a score for that or whatever.
I just had a thought regarding the lore actually that can piggyback on this. They need to have, and people have talked about making an audiobook for the lore. Why not just have voiceover in game of somebody reading the lore stuff?
Yeah.
Like when you unlock something, like you can do an audio play of what's there.
Yeah.
I don't like.
So I mean,
I've got a file that says things to pitch to Bungie when I get a chance.
That was
in that file is custom lore playlists that are narrated. So like you could go into your lore tab and like go, I want you to read me 1, 4, and 7, and then I'm gonna like just tune out and do a strike, and someone's gonna read me a bedtime story.
That's cool.
So basically, we just need someone to read that. I mean, I wonder if buy for beer to free. I'm like, I heard JSniperton has a reading voice as well.
To be honest, you know what? To be honest, this is what needs to happen. We all the lore guys get together, and just like you've got, your Ishtar Collective and your Destiny sets and all the other like third-party websites, we go through and we make sure that we narrate every single fucking piece of lore.
Just give it to them.
You just have it in a tab, and you just click play all or play Books of Sorrow or play Dredge and Yaw or play the Awoken and just sort of
absolutely
way it goes.
I wonder if you could create a relationship with like Dim or something to incorporate that.
That would be cool. But
Matt, you don't have enough on your plate anyway, mate. You should be doing that.
Dude, it takes so long to read. I know that sounds dumb. It actually takes a really long time to have a big bunch of text to read, because I did an audiobook for a gent that wrote like a short story, and I think it was only 2 hours of audio or something, and that took a fucking long time.
We'll get fucking.
That's why
we'll get
we
Rick
get-
to do it as
That's why.
Christopher Walken.
That's why we get a voice actor, and then like maybe the voice actors like. This is probably costing Bungie a fortune doing this, but maybe get the voice actors in who are part of that particular piece of grimoire. So if it's something based on Zavala, then get what's his face in something based on Ikora, you get Gina Torres in and all that sort of thing. That would be cool, but obviously that would be
I sort of
something
be expensive, be too expensive for that.
it would be
Something
expensive
based on
and
Cade.
Ooh.
It's all right. It hasn't happened yet. I don't need to process it. It's future Luke's problem.
But no, that would be a cool idea. I would absolutely be around, like fully back that. Like if you just wanted to, just I want to listen to these ones and then pass out. I'd listen to Bife until I go to sleep. I don't know there's any other lore heads out there that I'd listen to go to sleep.
Not that I know.
So the reason why I'm giving Matt shit in regards to he put out a tweet because he's starting to get back into Muay Thai, and he put out a tweet saying that he saw his trainer had a hunter tattoo. Oh, sorry, he was wearing a Destiny. Trainer goes, Destiny, I love Destiny. It shows this hunter
with a Destiny shirt on. Yeah, go on, keep going, Slaughter.
No, your story.
Your story, man.
So I've just gone back to the gym because YouTube basically added 20 kilos to my body.
It's all YouTube's fault. Yeah,
I blame YouTube. I literally replaced the gym with making YouTube videos, and I haven't been to the gym in 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I put on a bit of weight, went back to the Muay Thai gym, just sort of signed up, and the only shirts that really fit me usually are like the Destiny 2 shirts or the Destiny shirts that I got sent that were like larges and extra larges when I normally would be like a small or a medium, but now they're like perfect size. I'm so fat. And then so I went to training.
It's okay. We're about the same size. I wear larges too.
Yeah, right. And I was like, these fit perfect now. They're great for training. The Muay Thai instructors, sleeves on both sides. And he's like, I'm like skipping and whatever. And he's like, oh, Destiny shit. Is that it? Yeah, like warm up skipping, And
no, I thought that was how you arrived there. Just hello.
Hello.
Is that a jump rope? Is that what that is?
Oh, you call it jump rope? Yeah, jump rope.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. No, I'm not like. Jump rope sounds like kindergarten. Anyway, I was doing some jump rope. I was doing.
It was just a language thing.
And he's like, "Oh, Destiny, that's cool." And he like shows the tattoo, and it's like it's a hunter's like emblem. I'm like, "Oh, hunter's emblem." And I was like, "Right, this is mine." I was like, "Have you heard of the Destiny Grimoire anthology?" And he's like, "I was like, the law books," and he's like, "Oh, my name is Bife." I'm like. And then he walked off, and I just kept skipping.
Just cried into your skipping.
You just go. He's standing behind the heavy bag. Now give it a.
goes across the room, just hulk it. Oh my God.
So another question from K-Jack. How do you guys feel about going from intellect, discipline, and strength to this mobility, resilience, and recovery? Are you talking from D1 to D2?
I'm fine with it. Same thing. More or less.
It's a list of burn centers in Australia. Oh my God. No, it was definitely something that was a little bit of a shock when I first saw it. I was like, why would you change that? But at the end of the day, all it is a same thing, just slightly modified. So it's
I miss
6 to 1, half a dozen to it.
someone mentioned before I miss sort of chasing the like tier 12 sort of gear set, and I think I agree with that. I missed that too.
I never had it anyway, so. Oof.
But it's I don't see it as a huge difference. To be honest, I can't even remember Destiny, like the nuances of Destiny 1 anymore. It's been that long since I booted up my Xbox. I don't think it even works anymore. So,
bro,
I know that it is different, but
I got another question for Jay. I just thought of what is the subclass you're most excited for in Forsaken?
I really haven't doved much into that. Dived into those. There was there was one for the Warlock that it was like a new Void one that looked kind of interesting to me. Lots of explosions and stuff.
Yeah.
The blinking
anime top 10 anime.
Yeah, the top 10 anime things. Yeah,
Motions.
It's the new subclasses look really cool. Even the Kamehameha,
that one looked pretty cool.
The Naruto one.
I like the Titan hammer that you could just throw your hammer and go pick it up again.
Yeah, the Titan massive hammer, the hammer that you can throw and pick it up again.
The melee hammer, just
the melee
That's
hammer.
What I'm talking about, and you like bonk them off the head, and
like if you pick up a claw hammer and just throw it at someone.
They need to have the Mario Hammer Bros come out, just like shucking them. Turtles. I was gonna touch on the K-Jack question for like 2 seconds. It'd be cool if in the mod system they brought back some of those like intellect, discipline, strength abilities into mods. I think like getting our supers quicker and not always having them as like an exotic armor perk.
Yep,
I thought would be kind of cool.
Yeah,
that was my only.
I'd like that. That like they could go all out with the mod system.
Yeah,
like,
there's so many things they could do.
Like so many things
mods.
They could do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that would be like that would be something that I would grind. Like I've got a background of playing very grindy games. You know, like anyone who's watched the cast on my personal channel, 9,000 hours of World of Warcraft, I know how to grind.
Yeah.
You know, but it was. Don't you look at me in that tone of voice. It was
nearly bit my fucking tongue off. Anyway.
But
I'm gonna get a stream deck so I can do that shit.
It's not. That's just my Logitech.
Oh, sweet.
If they could bring in like just go crazy with the mod system like they've done with the exotics, just make them just so over the top, just exciting, broken crap. Well, not crap, exciting and broken. But you have to work your ass off to get it.
Yeah.
Like that would be.
I think everything's going in that direction now. I think everything was so beige in Destiny 2, and now it's just gone. Whatever. Do it all.
Yeah.
You know,
Caps open.
You know what?
Pre-nerf. Let's do it.
People complained at year one Destiny PvP as the Thorn last word meta. And the more that I think about it, because I was the one who complained about it very loudly in TA as well. But the Thorn was overpowered, and it should have been because you had to do the missions. It was really difficult and get it done and all that sort of thing.
Do you know what I was talking about today with that mission and the Crucible? People complain about Crucible now. Do you remember the Thorn Crucible mission where you had to get void kills? And if you fucking died, you went backwards?
Wasn't it like 500 void kills or something ridiculous number? It was a very large number.
And you couldn't choose your element on your weapon. And so, like, you had to...
You just had to have, like a void shotgun. Void. That's how I did. I had a void shotty and just aped for 6 months. Just that was it.
But, like, the exotics should be harder to get. I like the quest-based exotics. It should be difficult to get. Not time-gated, but quest-based exotics, like the Whisper of the Worm. That would be really cool. But the quest-based exotics are really, really cool. And they should be broken. The Whisper is just broken in PvP, PvE rather, and it's great. Like people are one plating Callus. Like you could do that before, but one plating Callus with 3 whispers and just and then start and bust it.
I'm really interested to see how the new raid responds to not only the way weapons are now, but the weapon system as well. Like,
Absolutely.
you know, the way it is now, the raid can't be the same because people are just gonna just literally from having Whisper of the Worm. Like,
Well-
if you have a boss with a big head, it's going down real quick.
They've done a good job, I feel like, in Destiny 2 of making the raids a lot of mechanics. Like if you like to me, and I've always preached this in any raid in Destiny 2, it's never about DPS. It's always about mechanics. Like if you fail any of the mechanics going before the DPS, you're screwed. DPS, it's you can always manage. So my guess is they're just going to stick to that platform and just make it a lot of mechanics,
Mechanic
in the new raid
heavy.
for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, that reference Spire of Stars. Like everyone has their own way of doing it. When I first did it with Sin, like it was completely different to how he does it now, which is completely different to how you do it, Jay. It's completely different to how Ets and the Pineapple Boys do it. Like it's just you've got to get through all the mechanics. You've got to go up into space. You've got to find out what the little circles are. You've got to go down, grab the balls, charge the weapon.
It's very
kill the
fast too.
ships. It is very fast, and that's the best thing about it is the mechanics. I would have enjoyed Kingsfall a lot more if there wasn't so many connection issues. But Kingsfall was a very mechanical raid. It wasn't so much DPS. It was very mechanical. You had to get the orbs to explode. You had to stir the pot at the right time and all that sort of thing. And you had to, and yeah, you had to get that at the right time to do the optimal, to do the damage to Oryx, and then you had to go from there. It was mechanical. It was good. The DPS based raids, like your the original Crota, which was just DPS, was just I don't know. Solo.
See, I've got to say, you know what? I think I've said this before. We did we say this? At the summit, anyway. At the summit, you know, we got to sort of talk about this, and we got to talk about like the different types of raids and like the, you know, the big bad boss raid of DPS and the mechanic heavy raid, and you know, then the blend of them too. You know, if you actually like sort of define how the raids have gone, you actually see that there's been sort of testing in each sort of release of like, hey, big bad boss DPS. Okay, a little bit of mechanics. All right, heavy mechanics, and so it's interesting to. I think they've tested most of those combinations now to what they want. So they've been in a really good position to get balance between mechanics and DPS and what they want to do. But just looking at the weapon side of stuff, I think, you know, you can't just have, you know, like Eater of Worlds, like that DPS is such a breeze now to get to that. And that's less mechanic heavy and, you know, very easy to put rounds onto boss man.
Well, yeah, like, you know, like, and also the the changes to the prestige layers as well in regards to the prestige modifier if you can only use curated weapon types and all that sort of thing.
Sure.
It doesn't mean like it's not a weapon that you can't just use a Galahorn or a Whisper whenever you want. Like the first week was grenade launchers for frick's sake, you know, like people had to get that around, had to get the mechanics down, and then had to do DPS with what they had. So DPS is not as important as mechanics, but you know it is what it is. Now I've got a question for you, Jay, and it's one of the reasons why main reasons why we wanted to get you on. What are your thoughts on the prestige layers?
Oh god, strap in, boys.
I like that they went somewhere different with it. I'm not a huge fan of Prestige Leviathan. I don't know what it is about Prestige Leviathan that gives me anxiety. The Prestige layers, the idea that they're ever changing every week, I think is the coolest thing ever. Making it so with the tokens and the prestige tokens, I'm not a huge fan of. Like, you know, when you res somebody, both of you lose a token in prestige. That on top of the additional challenge is not my favorite thing in the world. I have this love-hate relationship with tokens in general, as as an idea, right? I like that it forces you to complete it as a team, but at the same time, it takes some of those moments away. Yada yada. Anyways, but I like that they went in a different direction with it. It would have been cool to see maybe slightly different mechanics, things that I guess the modifiers kind of do that inherently, but I don't know. It was weird, because like Destiny 1, I can't remember. Did Destiny 1 heroics have different mechanics? Oh, they do that. It was just the challenges, right? When it was challenge week, they had different mechanics.
It was just
Yeah,
I
the challenge was
so.
a different. Yeah,
And there was no
Well,
rest.
sorry, Wrath changed with the challenges.
Right.
I don't think. Oh no, when Age of Triumph came out, they all had challenges. Come on, they did.
Right. Age of Triumph. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go on.
I don't know how I would change it. I just like that how they took a risk, and I'm interested to see how many different kind of modifiers there are going forward. And basically, it makes those makes the prestige raids. I don't really like how they're level gated though either. Like Eater of Worlds and Leviathan. Eater of Worlds is what 330, and Leviathan's like 310. So if you're there, you can do those prestige raids and get end game. Like I would like to. I think light level to matter a little bit more on those, personally.
Yeah, that would be ideal, and I wonder if they're going to do the. The lair thing again with the Dreaming City.
Well, my major issue with the lair is Callus is really became the big bad boss, and it looks like at this stage we're not really going to have a conclusion to that, and because we're going to move on from and sometimes you don't always need a conclusion, right? Sometimes it can be satisfying without, but I feel like I would have liked
the Exo Stranger.
No, I feel like I would have liked some sort of mini conclusion. I don't necessarily need to meet Callus or kill Callus or have this big finale, but to sort of wrap up that portion of the story
side of it,
that I would have liked, because it's so parallel to the main storyline. And, I really like the idea that not only for me, raid lairs solve the issue of being able to give more raids to players, right? Because they don't have to do everything all again. And so I love the idea of getting more raids. And I love the idea that the raid sets tell the story of that. And there needs to be a little bit more connection there. But, that final lair should give just something. Just even if it's like Callus offering, us to join him and we say no and we still beat him. Like just a couple, even if that was the dialogue lines, it doesn't close off Callus as a future storyline, but it also gives some conclusion. Right? And makes the standard player go, oh, why is he offering us that? And they get intrigued about looking into the armor and looking into the shadows of Callus and that kind of stuff.
Well, from someone who has learnt lore through osmosis by hanging out with you, wouldn't the final destruction of the Red Legion, like you defeated Valkaor, the final destruction of the Red Legion fleet, maybe it's just finished for now to be something else that happens in year 3, year 4, maybe when the triangle ship.
It's completely open. Right? It's completely open.
Yeah, when the triangle ships come in from dark space, maybe Callus will, try his very best to eat them all or something. I don't know.
Maybe we become friends with him and defend Leviathan against the darkness.
That's exactly what I was just going to say.
Yeah.
I've got that kind of feeling that he's deliberately being left there going like, okay, you're worthy, you're this dude. And then there's no resolution of he clearly thinks well of us. He's tested us.
Yeah.
And then this other threat comes in. Holy shit. Cade's dead. Whoever comes along with fucking Uldren and all that stuff's going on. And then, You know, maybe it's not the first raid, maybe it's the second raid or the third raid where, guess what? I'm going to take my big fish ship, I'm going to fly it out the reef, and I'm going to help the Guardians fight.
Enemy of my enemy, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Well,
Yeah,
look,
well, I mean, that's
think
exactly right.
that's where all the law's pointing anyway. And you know, you are probably right, because if you look at the progression of like the law tabs, they've made this very clear from that. Like every law tab is going in that direction, and maybe that's why it hasn't been wrapped up. But I don't know. I don't think. I still think there needs to be a mini something to sort of wrap it up before you move on and then come back to it later.
Do you reckon, like, we know that the Exo Stranger, they had no intention to tie up the end of that story, and I don't want to get into it too deep because, well, it's you. And I mean that as the highly qualified insult that it's supposed to be. But they had no intention to tie up the Exo Stranger story until the community summit, when you brought all of the people's want and need to bring it back in. And it looks like from the reveal illustrations that the Exo Stranger is carrying Cade's body off into the distance. Yeah. That's what it looks like to me. To me.
To the untrained eye. No, look, I think if anything, we've proven time and time again that the community does influence the game. And the lore community started off very small and is now having, I think, getting to the point of having really big impacts on the game. And, you know, I have responded to already some criticism about the lore books, blah, blah. And my response is this: the fucking amount of pre-orders and the amount of hype surrounding the lore books, like Bungie's tweet about the lore books was almost more than Forsaken DLC. If at the end of the day, there's someone high up that has to make decisions. And I truly believe with like the lore books, like this wasn't going to be this crazy big fucking project, but the response to it has really made heads turn. And that impacts what you get as a consumer. And, you know, if these things fly off the shelves, there's fucking no way the people at the top going, guys, why aren't we fucking making books? And then all the like Chris Barrett and fucking all the law people like, we've been telling you, we've been trying to make books. We tell you the fucking fan base is crazy for the law, but we needed to prove a concept, right? We needed something to prove that people will buy it, or that, you know, this is the best thing to put our eggs into, right? Because, you know, there's 101 things on Destiny and there's all these competing sort of areas and resources, right? You know, people want exotics, people want gameplay. So why should we be putting money into printing stuff? That's, you know,
absolutely, yeah.
And I think,
I get you. Yeah,
100%. The law community has come a really long way, and it's not just the law community. Any other area has influenced the game, and we are seeing those influences come through. Whew, sorry, I got a bit passionate there.
No,
do you say something about the law books?
I bought two, and I'm not a big lore guy, but for me it looks freaking cool. The book itself, like just sitting on a shelf, that for me is huge. Like, and maybe I'll flip through it every once in a while and learn some stuff. And two, our friend worked on it, and that's pretty incredible. Like that they brought somebody from the community to work on it.
Awesome. I have pre-ordered it as well. And it's mainly because, well, as much as I give him shit, I do enjoy his company. He's a good dude. But the lore is something that I've really sort of taken to of the game, and the art that is in the lore books, from what I've seen, is just top notch. Like, it is just incredible. So, you know, I mean, why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you?
People enjoy it. I really do.
I'm already getting people fucking hit me up. Do you reckon you could get Matt to sign my book? I'm like, Matt lives a continent away from me. Like, it's not like I could just fucking stroll down there and be like, hi, Matt.
Hey, mate, sign the book first.
I tell you what I would really like to do is, there are a lot of writers in the book, because there's a lot of people that went across all the Grimoire cards. And I would love for them to have signed some of those pages. I don't know,
charity.
I haven't said that. Yeah, I think without doubt we've got to put something for Guardian Con next year of
Yeah,
a lore,
absolutely.
a signed
That sounds
lore
like a
edition.
That would be
idea.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Mm.
We'll make
All
it.
right. Well, that's enough of blowing smoke up Matt's, that sort of thing. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very, very much for hanging around. If you're part of the live audience here on Twitch, thank you very much for hanging around. And a massive, very special thanks to our good friend JSniperton for taking time out of his day off, of his very busy Destiny raid help, and just messing around on Twitch schedule. Guys, if you're not following, twitter.com/JSniperton or twitch.tv/JSniperton, please go and check him out. He's a one of the, as per log, he's one of the, well, he's a weirdo, but he's our weirdo.
Yeah, he's our weirdo. He's on our level of weirdos.
He's one of the first Twitch streamers that I watched on this website as well, and he's a good dude. Trust me, you'll enjoy the community. You'll enjoy him. He's a little bit weird. He does a Wookiee noise every now and again, but it's fine.
It's my yawn, man.
It's just my yawn, man. Guys, if you're listening on our audio platform, Podbean or Spotify, thank you very much for your patronage there. If you have any questions, queries, doubtful points, or anything that we have spoken about on the podcast, please at us at DDU_podcast, at Mylan Games, at LogPayOurSlave, or at Realtime Sloth. Make sure you check out our personal channels as well if you feel so inclined to do so. Or if you do not have Twitter, please let us know in the comments section below on YouTube. And if you're not subscribed to us, make sure you hit that little subscribe button and the bell as well, so you know.
I've been saying to you, Slothy, you're supposed to be telling people at the front of the video with like loud dubstep music and shit that they need to subscribe, man. Like, what do you?
Where I need
2 hours in is not good enough.
I
It's
need
your boy, Real-Time Sloth, man.
It's your boy Asada. Like, you know, like no.
This is a shit podcast.
It is, yeah. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching. And Jay, thank you very, very much for coming on and taking time out of your day off, mate. It's really, really kind. Really kind.
Of course.
Thank you.
Thank you for having me. A lot of fun.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching on the in the live on Twitch, we're going to go and g'day raid our friend Spartan Sunny. He is live doing the Destiny things at the moment. So if you care to join us, go in there, spam g'day a lot. That's what we do.
Yeah.
But from us here at the Destiny Down Under, thank you very much for watching.
It's
been an absolute pleasure.
Peace.
I don't know.
You bow?
Yeah, I just bowed. I didn't even think about it. Bye. Shit.